Evening, evening all. Lovely to see you're here. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. It's a lovely evening here, but getting a bit hot and sticky again. And I hate to say it, but when my son that lives in America says that they have got whatever the weather is, about 10 or 11 days later, we get it. And he's got 40 degrees at the moment, which I've told him he can keep, but I'm not so sure. I think he might well share it with us. So what am I going to do for you? I wanted to do a little bit of stamping today. So these are some of the things that you will maybe have delivered to you today, or that it's on its way, or that you've got something similar that would work for you, and just show you a different way of doing a little something. So I'm going to be using the tapered square easy frame. That's this one lurking on the side there. That's what we brought in on Sunday, and there are some still available. So they are over on the website there. I'm going to be using some stamps which are the Floral Delights collection. I literally think there's a handful of those left. And this one is called Just Daisies. So I'm going to be using that to stamp. And then I've got some new moonstone combos, as they're called. So there's 2 dies and 2 sentiments there. Obviously the sentiments cutting out with the die. So one says, I'm so grateful for you, and the other one says, birthday wishes for someone special. So you've got, as I said, the 2 dies and the stamps, and I'm going to be using them for my sentiment today. I'm also going to be using some pens, that one that went rolling along. I'll tell you what the colours are later. I will put some links to these. They're not available from me, but they are from good old Amazon, and they are very reasonable. I said to you, I think, about them not so long ago. So I will put the links to them in the description down here somewhere a bit later on. Oh, Maximumcrafts is telling you all about it. Good evening, Maximumcrafts. Thank you. Some inks that I'm going to be using, quite a selection. I again will tell you about them as we go along. And a reminder that 2 things. One, I didn't put on here. Sunday, the 29th of June, this coming Sunday, I will be back at 6 o'clock for you. And also for those people that subscribe to the monthly card kit, look out in your inbox for details of the July card kit, which will be available to subscribers to pre-order from Sunday, and everybody else and the big launch is from the week after, which is something like the 6th, maybe, potentially. Who knows, really? I think it is around the 6th. So that's something to look out for the weekend, but I will remind you about that as well. So I have already cut out my frame. So what I did was I chose what colours I wanted to use, and I've gone by these colours. So you might see they're in the sort of purple range. And so I have taken my 2 tapered square dies. I've used the largest one to cut out lavender again, and the white one I've cut from linen white card. So that's my little frame that's going to go on there. So I'm going to pop them on there. Okay. So let's just add that. Couldn't decide whether to do a silver frame or not, but I think that this one would fit the bill possibly a bit more. So it picks out that lovely purpley colour that I'm going to be using. So just need to hold that onto there for a second or 2, and I can pop that to one side. Apart from telling you that, so this one, the smaller one, the white one, I have saved the waste for that, and that's what I'm going to do a little bit of something a bit different onto the waist only. Okay. I've got myself a 6x6 card. As I think I said to you, we did a 7x7 card on Sunday, but I also know that this was designed to fit onto a 6x6. So there's the 6x6 version of it as well. Okay. And this stamp, let's do some stamping. So let's do the background first. So this piece here, as I said, I'm going to pop it on that way around. I want to do a little bit of inking with the distress ink. So I'm first of all going to do a bit of splodging, technical term, of course, splodging, and then a little bit of stenciling. So what I'm going to do for that is move any bits of card. I'm going to pop a little bit of the ink onto my work surface, which is a silicone mat. So I purchased this silicone mat a couple of years ago now. It's a huge one. It's supposed to go onto a kitchen surface, but it covers, it's I think 100 centimeters by 70. So you can imagine it's huge. But the idea is that it covers my entire little table that I'm on here, or worktop, so that I can use all the bits and pieces that I want to without worrying about staining any table. So that's why I've done that. I'm going to get a little bit of water and spray that ink. Why, I don't know, but I keep on finding lots of little bits of that. And with the right side facing, I'm going to pick up some of that splodges. So I literally am putting my paper down and then just picking it up. Okay, so then you can see that it gives me splodge, as I said. Absolute technical term there. Now I'm going to put that to one side and let that dry a little bit, which won't take very long here, that's for sure. And just wipe that down. So that, again, another ideal thing of it being like this, so that it's completely, keep on getting, it's completely clean and we're good to go again. So let's just put that over there. I want to put that somewhere flat, really. So let's put that over. So let's take our stamp now. Now, as I said, there are two stamps facing one way, one the other, and then this one, which is a combination of the two. But I'm going to use just this one, I think. So I shall take that one off. Get my stamping platform out. Now, because I want to colour with alcohol inks this time, grab myself a little bit of doodah. Bit of card is what I'm looking for. You know what doodah is, don't you? Oh, there it is. Hold on, let's just pop that on there. I'm going to cut this down a bit smaller. I don't want a huge piece like this, because I want to cut round this daisy. So I'm going to put that into the corner. Put two straight angles in. And then just going to pick that up. Now, because, as I said, I'm going to colour with alcohol markers, I'm going to use this ink. It's Memento. It is a it is a dye-based ink, and it won't bleed, which is what we want to happen. We don't want to happen, I should say. We don't want it to bleed, so therefore we use this one. If you're using watercolour, you need to use one of the pigment inks. So this is a dye-based ink. So Memento in Onyx Black, I think, is it? Or is that the other one? No, Tuxedo Black. Tuxedo Black. So I'm just going to stamp that down. Check that that's all come out beautifully, which it has. So pop that to one side. And then I'm going to take my inks, my pens. So as I said, they're the Ohuhu. It's probably not pronounced like that at all. The colours that I'm going to use are yellow green, which is this one here, G289, and bud green, G479. I'm going to use those for the leaves first. So I'm going to use this just to colour in all of it first. Just like that. So I'm just carefully going along the edges and just colouring it in. The paper that I've used is just ordinary white card. It's nothing special. If you are into your stamping, super smooth is the way to go for if you're into a lot of stamping. But the image here is not too sort of drastic, so we're okay with that. I then want to do a little bit of blending. So I'm going to bring in my bud green and just come up from the bottom here and along the edge. So just a little bit, and then down this edge here. So it almost gives you the shadow effect and blending effect, but I want to go over with my other colour just to blend that in a little bit more. So then it all becomes one rather than not. So I can keep on shading and going over that if I wish. Just bring in that colour to give you that really dark effect there. So then I'm going with my purple. So as I said, with this one, I've gone with Mauve Shadow V891 and Royal Light V276. So I'm going to go with the light one first. And I'm again going to do very much the same, oh, excuse me, the same thing. Being careful with the lines and then just colouring that in. Now you will obviously, if you were doing it on super smooth, you would get an even better end result, to be honest. But if we're just colouring here, I'm very pleased with how this works as well. I'm a bit naughty because I do tend to move my card rather than my pen and myself, which I'm not sure. Well, I say naughty, I don't know whether that's naughty or not, but I prefer to use it like that. So I'm just turning it round and then just doing these petals. So this is a really simple way, and we had a fantastic colouring workshop last week with these very same pens. So you can see we've done that so far. And then going to put this other colour at the top. I'm going to blend in a little bit. So I'm going to go just from the edges. And in a minute, when I look on the other side, you'll see that it's coming through there, which is what we want it to do. You know then that there's lots of alcohol pen ink around. Not lots of alcohol. I'm just going to go along these lines here, just making them stand out a bit more. And then there's a little shadow on each of these petals here, so I'm just going to go in and take some of the colour there as well. Okay, I think that's quite nice. Then I'm going to add some clear, just check this is clear. Yeah, it is. Some clear Stella, just to give it a little bit of a sparkle. There we go. Now, because that's alcohol markers, that's dried straight away. Oh, and I'm stuck to the thing. So I'm just going to cut out fussy cut. And what they mean by fussy cut is, got a bit of foam stuck to there. Literally fussy cut this out. So I'm just going to go, so going as close as you, I was going to say dare, but as you like, to the surface, and just cutting out. Now, whether you decide to go right into everywhere, like in that white space there, is really down to you, whether you like cutting. Some people don't like cutting. So I'm just going to do a fairly rough, but you can see I'm leaving it with a little bit of a white line, white edge. And the reason why I prefer to do that is because it blends in much better. Otherwise, if you have made a mistake and you've cut into the black line, the line of the stamp, it shows up so much more. Sorry if there's questions that I'm missing, because I just need to concentrate on that just for a second. We're putting all of the links on there. Oh, I'm hoping Janet's there today. Not sure if she is. I see my friend is back from her holes. That is good as well. So just going around all these edges. Being very brave going on that one. It's going to make me think that I'm going to want to cut that bit out, but I'm not. I'm going to leave that where it is, because you don't want to come along and watch me do that. And neither do I want to chance cutting with the very last stroke the whole thing in half, because that's been known before, has it not? We don't really want to do that, do we? Let's do that and then just do this one here. Do you know, I'm almost holding my breath cutting this. You wouldn't need to be quite so fussy as I'm being, and I do desperately want to cut that other bit out now, but I'm not going to. Don't pull it. Are you holding your breath with me? Oh gosh, I thought I had snapped it then, but no, I haven't. I haven't. I'm gonna have to do it, sorry. Right, now this is the crucial bit, and that. Good job I got sharp scissors, isn't it? And little scissors at that. Ooh. Shouldn't be such a perfectionist. Should just put up with it. But I can't. Oh. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go anywhere more. But how pretty is that? Very, very pretty. I think I've nearly wiped off the Wink of Stella, so I'm going to put a little bit more on there and let that dry for a second. Let's just put that a bit more of that on, because that did look pretty until I wiped it off. So let's pop that to one side and then bring back in my card front piece, which I'm going to put round that way, I think. So we know that this is the center, and here is my flower that's going to go on. But before I do, I want to grab myself, I think this. So this is a set of stencils that Julie Hickey used to do. I'm pretty certain that you can't get them anymore. But I just fancied doing a little bit of that. So I'm going to grab my seedless preserves, good old Distress Ink seedless preserves, pick up a little bit of that. And then, so I'm going to want that in that position. And I'm just going to go over. Now let's see, that looks nice. So we've got a little bit of that going on in the background. I'm going to match that up and extend that a little bit, because I want it a little bit that way as well. And extend it that way as well. So all I'm doing is just matching up the stencil and then just adding a little bit more, because I wanted it a little bit more prominent there. Okay, so that's going to go there. And pop that to one side. We'll do all the putting together in a second. just now need to get my sentiments. So I'm going to go for the birthday wishes for someone special. Bring in my stamping platform again and remove that stamp. Again, use my piece here, bringing that down. I can put that anywhere I like on here. And I'll just pick that up. And then because I'm going to be doing some embossing, I want to just make sure that there isn't any grease from my hands or anything like that on there. So I'm just going over with an anti-static bag. And then I shall ink up with some clear embossing ink. So this is the sticky one. If you've not done embossing before, this is the one which has no colour to it, so therefore called clear, but it is a sticky one. I prefer to use the Wow one, but there are lots of other ones on the market, obviously. So close that up, press that down, and although there isn't a colour to it, we should be able to see by just moving that to one side. I think I'm okay with that. I'm going to give it just one more go because I think I missed a little the end. I think I have. I don't want to risk it. So just bring that back in. Check that that's all okay. And I moved it, so we won't be using that bit. Trying to use up the scraps and therefore they haven't got a true corner. So let's try that one again. Right, you will do that. Let's hold that into place again. It is only a scrap. I shouldn't really use just a scrap. Let's grab my anti-static bag one more time. Just give that a little smooth over. Try and get it right this time. Press down properly. That looks better anyway. Yep, let's go for that. So we will put some gold embossing powder onto there. I'm using the Wow one. Whoops. You can see that stamps up very nicely there. Pour that back in to my pot and then just get my heat gun just to melt that sentiment. So now I get a chance. You thought it had moved. Yeah, I know. Hi Dillis, nice to have you there. Oh, Peter's late. Oh gosh, better watch out with your cataracts there. Gosh, seem to be catching at the moment. Well, not really, I know, but poor old Carol has just been, one of our group who've just been diagnosed with that as well. Right, let's bring in the old heat gun just to melt that powder. Excuse the noise. Don't go over it too often or too close so that it burns, but it will. You'll be able to see that if you push it, move it to one side, you will see that it's all shiny. If you've got any areas that are not shiny, just need to melt them a bit more again before you start removing it. Otherwise, it won't work. It won't work at all. So I shall take my die pop that over the top. I need to have a little bit of tape to hold this in place. It fits beautifully, but you will need, of course, just to wiggle it about. So first of all, I'm looking to see if I can still see the words for someone special nicely down the bottom. And then once they are all straight, the others hopefully, generally, just slot into place as well. So I'm going to put 2 bits of tape onto there, one on either side. And then run that through my machine. And then we'll be ready to put it all together. So bring in my card. There we go. And there's your sentiment. It's come out beautifully there. So let's grab our card. So what should we do? A side fold one for a change. Side fold card there. First of all, I need to put this one onto the card front as centrally as I can. So let's pop that one into place. We're going to do it that way around with the curves there. Just need to remember which way. Just hold that down. So as you can see with the background there, it's a random background, and that's fine. But I've just sort of popped the stencil over the top to give a little bit more definition, which I think works really well. So I'm then going to put some foam onto the back of my tapered square easy frame. So I'll pop a little bit down here. And then here. Here. And finally on this side. There is so much tape on there, foam on there. I don't need to put it in those 2 extra little bits, but of course if it's yours, you know, you may wish to do that. Just remove the backing. And let's pop this on, put an extra little bit of glue just to be sure and give us a tiny bit of wiggle room. Make sure I'm putting it on the right way so that it goes in line with my insert bit there. And then this fits in over the top. Then I'm going to take my flower. I'm going to put a bit of foam onto the back of my flower just to raise it up very slightly. So I'm only going to put the foam on the flower. I'm going to stick the stem down. So I'll remove those bits from there and then just put glue down the stem. Before I put it all together, just tweak up the leaves. So we pop that in place there. So there was no glue, no nothing on the back of the leaves, just down the stem, and then the padding on, oh, it's nearly out of steam, sorry, the padding out of line there, and then my little happy birthday sentiment, that needs some pads on the back of that. Just put some of them on there. And there you are, a 6x6 card using the frames that we had at the weekend. So using the tapered square frames. using one of the Floral Delight collection stamps from Julie Hickey, and using one of the sentiment combos, as they call them, from Moonstone. And that fits in nicely, I think, there. So let me show you that a bit closer to camera. Hopefully you can see that. So we used the tapered square easy frames for our frame itself. And as I said, we used the Julie Hickey Just Daisies from the Floral Delight collection. We used the Birthday Wishes sentiment from the Birthday Wishes and let me just check. Birthday and Gratitude. That's what that was. Okay. I used Wow Embossing clear pad to put the actual image on there, and then I used Wow Super Shine Silver as my embossing powder. I coloured this in with Ohuhu pens, and I used Distress Ink Seedless Preserves to do a splatted background first, just picking up the colour. And then I used one of the old stencils. It was called Backgrounds 1, Julie Hickey, and that was a set of 4 there when I've just picked out. So it just gives a little bit of a background hint on the side. So there you go, folks. Thank you so much for staying with me today. It's lovely to see you all here. As I said, I got an all-day workshop on Saturday with lots of people. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be brilliant. Lots of lovely things, which I'm sure they'll show you. And some of the things we will share with you on Sunday. Some of the items that we will be using, I will be showing and sharing with you on Sunday as well. And then on Sunday, as I say, I'll be back at 6 o'clock. And those of you who are subscribers to the card kits, that will come, your email inbox should be inundated with all the details of the gorgeous July card kit, which will launch to everybody from is it the 5th or the 6th of July? Did somebody tell me that? I can't remember. I can't remember what the dates of anything are. I think it's Sunday the 6th, but I can't work it out. So you'll have to, but I'll tell you all about that later. Okay, so thank you for spending your time with me. Go and take it easy, Peter. Look forward to seeing all of you on Sunday and some of you real people on Saturday. Until then, if you liked what you've seen, thumbs up, please. Down here would be excellent. Oh, 6th of July. Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely the 6th of July card kit. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you, Maximum Crafts. Brilliant work as always. And I will see you very soon.